Hello there, folks, and welcome to this week's Warpportal Weekly live show with me and Maridah.
Hi, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys. This is our weekly live show where we've missed a couple of them because a lot of short weeks in February, but we're here to chat with you guys about what's going on in the world of RO1 and 2 and technically
sometimes other
more
titles.
other games when they've got stuff,
But today it's
when
gonna
they
be,
deign to join us.
But we will be discussing Ragnarok titles today, I think, mostly. So
That's right. So why don't you lead off? You've got some news for
yes, we
for
do.
RO2.
We now have the announcement up. Not officially on the website yet, but for those of you on the forums, Taiwan is going to be merging in with our Freya server. So that'll be happening. It looks like it was going to be end of March, but it looks like now it's going to be the April 1st, which I'm sure a lot of people will be delighted to think that we're just trolling them when we
It'll be a bit of a surprise,
pushing
yeah.
that out. Maintenance will actually be moved from that Monday to that Wednesday, along with I guess there might be some conflicts maybe on our Korea side, so we needed to move the date to Wednesday, maybe because of a holiday or something. But as of April 1st, Taiwan will be in with Freya, so it's going to be not quite like the SEA merger, mostly because Taiwan's server started in June of last year, I think, so it's not as old of a server. There aren't as many players or items to bring over, and we'll probably see some players who are coming into newer content because we actually have more going on our servers. Like there's content that they didn't get on theirs. So for people concerned about items coming over, they're actually going to be coming into a richer environment, it looks like.
Okay.
So less concerns with that, bringing over items. And language is going to be the new concern. And that's going to be addressed actually by a client update. They're going to be releasing 2 separate clients. The current one is going to get an overhaul that's going to allow for different language support. So for the Portuguese-speaking players out there that are coming over from Brazil, we're actually going to have a client available for them. So that'll be nice. They'll be able to read in, Portuguese, the menus and things like that.
Very cool.
And it'll just be an option that you can switch in your normal client. And then there's a separate client that they're making for Chinese. So you'll be able to input Chinese characters in that way. But that'll make it a little bit easier for our expanding international community to be able to engage with one another and the community as well.
That's nice.
Yeah,
it'd be difficult to kind of join on a new server and not really have any, any way of communicating.
It would, I think that would have been really sad that if we didn't have the ability for players to type in Chinese when they came over. So that's being addressed right now by development. So by the time everyone comes on, it'll be good. And for those of you who are already playing, your client's going to stay the same. So you don't have to worry about downloading the Chinese version unless you just, I guess, really want to. But they'll both access our server, so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And speaking of having new people coming onto our servers, we announced this last month that Puro, Philippine Ragnarok Online, they're going to be closing their doors on March 31st of this year. And so we're actually going to be opening up a new server. And then if people have signed up to get merged over, they're going to go to the new server. And that new server will be based on renewal mechanics, free to play. Anybody can log in and join them. And so we're looking forward to that. Still waiting on that page to get posted up so that people can we can't have their information unless they
Opt into it?
Opt into
Yeah.
it, just a part of the...
Whenever we're going from one company to another, we have to make sure that you guys go through the agreement to opt into the service. So if you want to get transferred over, you have to go through that process. It's the same thing for RO2. So if anybody wants to move over from Taiwan, they'll have to go through the quick, fairly painless process of signing up for that. But I'm actually excited to know that we're going to have players coming over from different regions for both games.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, so we've posted up information about what kind of items will not be brought over. Numerous stuff, some because it's a little overpowered, some because it does not exist, or we don't use those same mechanics on our server. But yeah, seems like people have been pretty welcoming to the new players, and new players have been pretty nice.
That's awesome.
So I think it's pretty compatible.
Yeah, I know that there were some players who were a little sad to see the service end in the Philippines, but I think it's an opportunity for them to come and play with, IRO and meet new people, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
So it definitely makes me want to get in game and start playing RO more. So
yeah,
that's something I intend to
same
do.
Here, definitely trying to get more people on classic servers as well.
Yeah, I want to try classic since it's all kind of new to me. So
Yeah, for me, classic's a little easier to wrap my head around.
maybe that's a good place for me to start then, because I do have a character on renewal, but it is kind of like diving in the deep end and trying to swim. So
Well, yeah, we are definitely doing what we can to make important PvE and PvP improvements on the server.
you need to start some monster spawns.
Yeah, just got to be careful.
About what?
Well, if a monster doesn't actually exist, or it doesn't work on Classic, it could be a problem.
So yeah, I'm guessing a lot of people have heard the news that we lost Leonard Nimoy.
Very sad news. It was kind of weird. Growing up, we always had, there were some cast members that were still around, basically. So yeah, even though DeForest Kelly, a lot of cast members are no longer with us, but still a shock.
Yeah, I did not expect that this morning. That was just kind of a downer. So
Well, it seems like it was not like a prolonged thing.
yeah, not a long illness. So
That's kind of sad when that happens. So, yeah, I mean, he was a guy who accomplished quite a bit. A lot of people, they'd probably settle for being Mr. Spock, being kind of like such an iconic character. But he was very happy doing other stuff. I mean, he was in the Transformers movie. I mean, you can't get any higher up than that.
yeah, that is definitely
He played a
the pinnacle
Transformer.
of acting. And,
He played a bad Transformer in the new movie, and he got killed by Optimus Prime while begging for mercy. It's kind of weird. But yeah, this is the dude who has straddled many, many different different genres. He was in an episode of Columbo, which is fantastic. He was just very cool.
So for anybody who's commenting about the stream cutting out, it's Friday, Twitch. This happens, unfortunately, to us periodically. Sometimes it gets better, so we'll just cross our fingers. We're kind of streaming during a peak time, I think. So this typically tends to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but you can always watch this archived up on YouTube afterwards if you really want to listen to us talk and ramble for an hour.
Absolutely.
You can.
So, actually, one thing that I was gonna do, I'll still have the classic thing up here. But let's.
Cool, it looks like my head's exploding. Having trouble? Uh-oh.
Yeah, requires a restart.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's okay. You know what? We don't have to do that. What I was going to do was to show off. Basically, we just finished a proposal for the anniversary quest for this year. As you can see by my hat, it's kind of hoping to have a Wild West theme. We've been trying to get a U.S. theme map for the longest time, and figured that this might be the chance. At the very least, getting a map, a couple NPCs, a few monsters, something that we can expand on in future requests. But I was actually working on a mock-up of kind of what we'd want it to look like. And I think that would be kind of a lot of fun.
Worst case scenario, we could screenshot it and do it next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause it's kind of cool to see the making process. That's some of my favorite thing. I actually got the okay to be able to show off some of the new costumes that we're getting to RO2 in game. I'm doing these weekly meetups on Wednesday now, so I'm gonna swap out what I'm wearing each Wednesday.
Oh, very cool.
So, because there's some cool costumes coming out, and now I'm like, yes, now I can be a hot dog or a queen. So.
Oh, I thought you meant like hot dog as in like a racing or something.
No, I mean like a hot dog, like an actual hot dog. In fact, some people might have seen Yor on Odin today. He didn't realize that he wasn't hidden. He was just standing there in his hot dog outfit.
In hot dog form?
Yeah.
I mean,
people were
that is
dancing around
the
him.
ultimate costume.
Great. So.
Let's check and see how the stream looks. Yeah, it shouldn't be having problems, at least. So yeah, hit the report problem, the little wrench icon, if you are actually having issues with being able to see us.
This is like screen. See ourselves.
But yeah, it doesn't look like it's frozen up. But if you run into that kind of issue, don't worry, it's going to be archived up today.
Yep.
But we're actually pretty excited. We're doing our game night.
Tonight?
Yeah, tonight at 7:30. We're having folks from all the different communities of the games, mostly RO2. RO1 people just scattered all over the world. But yeah,
we actually had a pretty good number of people RSVP for RO2, so it'll be a lot of that. And I think some people are flying in, so.
Yeah, I mean, actually flying in is
we're
just
gonna
incredible.
disappoint them. But I think it'll be fun. I'm bringing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh,
so,
excellent! I will definitely
we get to be horrible
that.
people together.
It's.
I love that game, though.
I don't want to brag, but I have won it like every time we've done it at the office.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Because
Yeah,
I've won it a lot too, so good.
That doesn't say anything about our personalities.
I'm excited for that. That's gonna be fun. So.
But yeah, Cards Against Humanity is always a lot of fun.
Yeah, not for the easily offended, but it should be exciting. So we actually unfortunately have a lot of people in the office who are sick. So some of them have decided to head home rather than infect our players because we didn't really want to send you home with some horrible cough. So unfortunately, some of our staff won't be here. But I do hear that some of our former GMs are coming by. So it'll be good to have some of the old gang back. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's something where it's kind of like a homecoming, it's a chance for sort of people who've worked here before to kind of show up and say hello.
Yep, and it seems like that is the case.
Yeah, and a great opportunity to
Catch a nice
interact with our
cold.
players as well. Yeah, we want to make as many people sick in LA as possible. So
we're gonna be the new Disneyland. Someone's gonna come with measles.
These vaccines, we're just saying we should just make everybody in the office sick, and then you get antibodies. It's like a little measles party.
Oh God. Well, it's been nice knowing all of you since this may be my last week. I may not be on this planet after a measles party.
That's right. We'll put. You know what? I'll have the little tombstone up, right next, like, "Hey, I'm Seymour. I'm Seymour." And this is Warpportal Weekly.
Let's get a cardboard cutout of me.
I think it would be fun if you kind of did like a crypt keeper thing, like, Welcome to our live stream!
Or a weekend at Bernie's.
Ditch TV! Warpportal.
Oh, no. Maybe people are going to be happy right now that the stream is coming out.
Don't worry, the people watching this on YouTube are gonna love it.
Yep.
Or else. Let's see if there's anything more they wanted to get some feedback on that.
So yeah, hopefully if you guys are in game on Wednesdays, you'll come to one of the meetups where it's going to be kind of casual. You can really talk about anything you want. It doesn't have to be about the game.
We keep it pretty cash.
Yeah, it's kind of like the live stream. It doesn't have to be about the game.
It
can be about some game.
We can just watch commercials.
It's a little more informal than our
forums. And hopefully not get muted.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's
We've had that happen a lot.
We should. Well, that's mostly my fault.
Oda likes music.
I love music. I love listening to the music of the Beatles.
And lots of franchises that have really protective
Disney
lawyers over their IP. Yeah.
Yeah, it's voice over IP, VoIP. That's pretty much what it stands for. But yeah, it was a pretty big to-do to get the anniversary quest requested.
So what are you heading out to do now? You gonna do quests or something?
I was actually just going to sit here in silence.
Okay, you can do that too.
Like they do in all great live streams. I want to play Leonard Nimoy YouTube videos so much.
Oh, we will so get flagged for that too. That's a sad thing.
You know what? You guys can just imagine what
Yeah.
the sounds would be like.
You can load it up in another window.
That'd be a great video series. It's just like, hey, take a look at this, link.
Yeah.
Open it up.
Let's discuss
3,
it.
2, 1. There we go.
We should do that. That would be easier than having all of our videos have the audio stripped or pulled. Because that happens.
Let's go and take a little tour. One of the things that we added to this Asgard village map, this is basically our old Payon map, showed in previous live streams, but we've added in warpers for players who are that level, just kind of a way to quickly get to some pretty nice dungeons.
Convenience.
Yeah, it's streamlining it, so it takes you right to the outside of this. This is our city of Aldebaran. It's quite lovely. You've got little canals, little boats. It's sort of a Venice-y or venison. That's one of those. But yeah, this is the Clock Tower Dungeon. I don't know if you guys have anything like this.
Currently, nothing exactly like this, but there's thematically similar stuff, but it's not. You definitely have more towns than us. Hopefully, I know we will be getting new ones. We will be getting Jawai and Niflheim, and probably some others. We're thinking maybe Geffen. So we will be getting new stuff this year, but I've only actually seen what Jawai looks like, which is very nice.
Yeah, great place for vacation.
Yeah, although it looks like it's going to become an area that's for raids and monsters, so I think they're going to be adding some raids there. At least that's what they hinted at some point. We're trying to get more info, have them shed more light on the upcoming schedule. That way we know sooner.
Yeah, what kind of monster would you have in a Hawaii theme.
Yeah, I don't know, especially because there is like a wedding altar and stuff set up there, so that would be like the worst wedding crasher.
You'd fight against a bridezilla, am I right?
Oh man, some
Like
really
literally
angry brides, yeah,
a giant lizard.
or bridesmaids.
They're just wearing a dress.
Shooting you the stink eye. Some angry bridesmaids.
It'll be an official tie-in to the movie Bridesmaids.
They'll have the worst, like, puke green dresses on.
Exactly, avocado.
Avocado, definitely.
It's their color.
Yeah.
Wow, John Blow Up, not too bad, Al Akbar. Let's see. So I'm just picking up some moth dust here. Let's go see what he's wandering off to. Yeah, there's some really cool designs in a lot of these maps.
So what was the deal with the texture upgrades that we were seeing some kind of sneak peeks on?
There was I forget where that post went, but basically people posted up pictures from a new update on the Korean version of the game that had some really awesome looking updates to the game.
Yeah, I was looking at the before and after. It was pretty drastic.
Super detailed.
So hopefully that'll be coming this way at some point because they were kind of cool how they had more animation.
Definitely let the devs or let our contacts know, like, hey, our players are really interested in this, like, quite a bit. BTW, they like this.
Well, everybody likes a graphics update.
Yeah, Yenko24 says, first time zoning into the old Pan map. Didn't even know when the new one came out, but a huge nostalgia trip. Yeah, it was really, really a long time ago that they put that original map in. The new one's nice. A little bit more variety in buildings, but yeah, this is actually a bench. I guess maybe like a stone bed. Doesn't seem very comfortable.
Yeah, and it seems like a sofa maybe, or like a park bench.
Yeah, if you're going to have a giant monster-infested...
this was the DMV there, because that looks kind of like the uncomfortable level of seating that you get at the DMV.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, this is like the former DMV.
This is sort of like, this will tell you when your number's being called.
Yeah. And then you go deal with the unpleasant people over here who...
Oh, somebody left the door open here. All right. I like the little bells.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't get annoying to live there. But yeah, there's a ton of little moving parts and details that I think make this map pretty special. Oops, let's head back here. This kind of reminds me of one of our War of Imperium maps. There's always a lot of kind of maze-like elements that help you get lost. Yeah.
I really like these monsters. The way they
You
look.
got a little clock face man.
It's cool.
You're not bothering anybody. I don't like that he has like little insect legs on the side of a clock.
That is a
like
little bit
robot
unsettling,
insect.
but hey.
How does a clock get a mustache? Was he like a... Oh, his
no.
face was so sad. Like, oh! Like, very dramatic about it.
Well, you did just come and like totally break him into pieces.
That was my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a bleep if I hit the ground bleeding something. I don't know. I don't remember that song too well.
You remember it better than I do. Let's just go ahead and forget about that one.
I want to get content ID'd under any circumstance. You know what I'm saying?
We're just going to find a way to flag this even though we're not playing any music. So
Exactly.
Well, maybe is there audio even playing from the game? Because they like to flag for that too.
There should be audio from the game. Apparently there's a lot of like third-party organizations or companies that are flagging. I probably do not have the proper variable to go down there.
But yeah, it's always great when you get a video flagged for music in one of our game titles. It's like, yeah, that's our game title. But now we have no audio.
You know, I think we should do karaoke in here during the.
We could do that during game night.
Yeah, during game night. Well,
Yeah, we could do that.
Because one thing that we're thinking of doing for game night was either streaming, playing some kind of tabletop game. Basically, just a way for, we have a lot of people who they can't make it in here. So it would be cool if there was a option for them to sort of still participate, still have a good time,
I'd volunteer to film our game of
Cards Against Humanity?
But we could not archive that.
It's...
If you want to win that game, you gotta...
Okay, this is where they're all... This is the hangout for these guys. This it's definitely the little social club you got over here. Fortunately, they can see by my mini-map where I am, so hopefully they won't get too lost. Or I won't get too lost.
Yeah, you are getting pretty far away.
Yeah, I love how big the maps are in RO1. Okay, so, hopefully they know to join me here.
If not...
But, look at that. The level of detail that they've got in there is just a ton of fun. Look at that. You could almost...
That is really cool, though. I like that piece of tile there, it's spinning.
You know, it reminds me of the greatest Lupin movie. Castle Cagliostro.
We don't agree about this.
It's
Mama
no mystery
was
about
better.
Mama, yeah.
Mama was better.
If we could just watch Hulu on
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, almost all of Lupin is on Hulu. I think that's
Which is
very
great, yeah.
cool. Subbed too, which is
Even better. Yeah, I was watching some stuff recently, and I wanted to go back and watch something, and loaded it up, and I'm like, oh no, it's dubbed. Oh no.
Ooh, yeah.
And it wasn't one of the ones that it wasn't a good one. It was one of the ones where, yeah, you. It's not the finest hour of many a person.
It was 4 kids, 1 piece dub.
It was along those lines. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't want to call out and say what it was.
You're in
just
the
because
industry.
There's a lot of people who I respect what they do. There are just certain titles that it's not the best transition. So, but yeah, I definitely prefer it if it's subtitled. I don't mind reading. Plus, if it's something simple enough, after a while you start to pick up on certain parts of dialogue.
Well, are there any series where you would say that the dub is actually better?
Better?
I've heard Cromartie High School is kind of funnier in
Cromartie
English.
actually was pretty funny in English, because I did watch it in English. So, yeah, it was funny, but I don't know if I'd say it's better, because there's certain parts that you're missing out. Like, the way they say Freddy's name in Japanese is just Freddy. It's just, you can't, I don't know, something about, just there's certain things about it that I enjoyed, maybe just because it was sillier originally, that certain things just, you can't translate all of the jokes. So you have to kind of, I feel like some shows do it better, like Lupin, when they dubbed over Second TV, they really went with it, and they did their own thing, and it wasn't by the letter, translated.
The Cagliostro dub was like that, where it was kind of more loose. It was like a
you
loose
felt like they
translation.
kind of had more control as voice actors to say what they wanted to or make the jokes, and the staff themselves kind of just went with it. The way that they adapted the characters, they made it their own instead of being like a caricature of the original voice actor or just being kind of stale. They decided, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to make these our own characters. And I thought that was a successful dub, but I don't find that many that I can watch in both languages and not cringe at some points. So Lupin was one of the few. Bebop's was good.
Yeah, I think all the
But it's hard for me to
Shinichiro
say that
Watanabe stuff's pretty
I
decent.
prefer it in English just because I really like Megumi Hayashibara, and she's in
Yeah.
Bebop. So
Yeah, she's
she's
Lady
great.
Faye.
Yeah.
You know, she was the character based on the Man Faye character, but they made her female.
Yeah, you know. Well,
You know.
Man Faye was just
It
they
was
couldn't get the
first,
copyrights
you know.
to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. Look at that. Like, they don't even have the whole thing, but they have, like, this part that's in there. That's really cool.
I'm still just reeling from the fact that we brought Man Faye up on this. So
You know, it is not the first time I've mentioned Man Faye. You know, good on him.
Yeah.
He sold it.
he did.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's not really dressed all that differently from, like, your average WWE wrestler. so-
True. Yeah. I mean, there's guys at the beach in a Speedo that are wearing things that are more shocking. I think it was just the
We're living in a post-Bebop world, you know.
yeah.
Inubashiri says Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell's dub was
Ghost
good.
in the Shell was
yeah.
very good.
Do I think it's better? I don't know. I don't know if there is one where I found that I preferred it in English. Because
Shows where all the characters are, like, in America.
maybe so in that case it would be a little bit easier to transition, because sometimes you know how they do Americans and
Like, Rurouni Kenshin. Like,
no.
would the Batosai like a donut? Like, no, that's a rice ball. No.
I'm dying a little
Hey,
bit.
Ash, let's get some hot dogs. Like, just sushi. Like,
Yeah,
just come on.
it's like, come on, you're not even like reanimating that. Like, do not try to tell me that is a hot dog, because that is one really disgusting hot dog.
Yanko24 says Power Rangers Rita Repulsa dub.
Okay,
yes.
now, yeah, if it's something campy can work.
I
So-
think Campy works pretty well.
And it has to be done by a staff that goes with it. You know, that they really roll with the whole
With the campiness of it, yeah.
campy. Yeah, because if you take it too seriously, yeah.
I'm
Not
trying
gonna
to
work.
think. I mean, I really do like listening to the original Japanese voice actors because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff like San, Chan,
Yeah.
Kun. Like, there's a lot of ways that they express where their social standing is, how they feel about the other person.
And there's subtle details with that, or like even the way that they change through the plot line of how they refer to each other by dropping certain suffixes or using something different. But I also like the fact that a lot of shows you can tell the character was built around the voice actor.
Yes.
So there's certain characters that just are not the same because they really wrote this character for this one specific actor. So that's hard. That's when I'm usually like, nah, can't watch the dub.
That one is hard to replicate, definitely.
Like, what do you do with all of the Rie Kurumiya shows out there? Like, those are meant for her. She's
What example?
like Toradora and Zero no Tsukaima, like kind of that tsundere, like tiny little girl type of character with a big attitude, but or like Hayate. She does the main girl in Hayate.
Okay.
So they're just characters. I don't feel like, I don't know. If it's not her voicing it, it just feels really weird because she's got her typeset that they cast, like create a
knew
whole
who
show
they
about.
were-
So
who they were
yeah, they
casting.
were going for that. I don't know if I could watch it if it wasn't her.
I have to say that one of the podcasts I listened to, Super Best Friends, they actually were talking about that this week, and they mentioned Excel Saga.
Oh, okay,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
the gal who did Excel's voice in English actually busted her voice
Excel
from doing the voice.
was pretty good though. And
That
I
was
think
pretty well done.
the show itself is very ADD, but if you're into that, it's
Yeah,
you can tell they really put a lot of effort into there. They tried, so that's
Yeah.
a big thing.
Was that? I don't remember if that was Funimation or what.
Maybe it was an
company?
earlier Funimation one. That was
Because I
really
think Pioneer was gone
by
by
that.
time.
No, Pioneer was still around because Pioneer was doing like Lupin stuff up until
Pretty
I
recently.
want to say 2008,
Is
2007, 2008. I think is when they folded.
Is ADV gone?
ADV's gone. Yeah.
Okay, I guess all their stuff is probably Funimation stuff.
Yeah, a lot of titles got picked up by them, or
Manga Video is still around, right? I still see their logos
yes.
on things.
But they only do licensing for like 1 or 2 things a year, I think. So
It's like if you want Ninja Scroll, you got to come through them.
well, now with the way that anime is being distributed here through streaming, it's a game changer because we've got Crunchyroll. So Funimation's doing the same thing now, and that all gets funneled into Hulu. So you can watch shows that those companies who've adapted have picked up like the streaming as their main focus.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
So
even with the commercials and stuff like that, it is pretty cool that you don't have to buy a DVD anymore.
oh yeah. Oh, because they were not cheap.
No, they were not cheap. They were not always available. I mean, back when you had stuff like Suncoast, it was just not a good deal for them. It was like
They had to import it, and
keep them on the shelves. Like, who's really going to be buying Volume 5 of an anime? Like,
well, and if you're talking about like DVDs, by that point they're domestic releases. But like with VHSs, I remember just if you could even get them in English was pretty great. But those were so insanely expensive.
yeah.
And I can remember being like a 14-year-old girl buying some Sailor Moon VHSs that were $60 a piece. Yeah, for
How many
120 minutes.
episodes?
Oh, no, it was a
Oh.
movie. So $60 for a VHS copy of like Sailor Star. I don't even remember what it was. The movie about Luna when she turns into a girl and then she falls in love with that guy, and then there's like it's a sad ending. That thing.
That's like every
whatever
movie.
that one was.
Even ones that are not about Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
But
I just remember being a 14-year-old girl being like, "This is the saddest thing I've ever seen."
No, I mean, even finding like Lupin.
Yeah.
The first season was like, I had to download a torrent of somebody had done like a fan sub on it back, 10, 15
Oh
years
yeah.
ago.
Oh, so many of the Lupin specials you had to find it that way if you were lucky.
They have the Lupin, the green and the red, right?
For
I think it's the most recent TV special. Like they kind of started doing those.
oh,
again.
so you mean picking them up licensed?
Yeah,
Yes,
that was totally
yeah.
on Hulu. I was very surprised.
Yeah, I think that they realized that there is a market for it because I know that for that period of time when they first introduced Lupin to the U.S. market, it didn't do that well. So
Plus, there was a lot of like licensing problems because Arsène Lupin was kind of like a big, like, hey, it's we don't have the rights to use the name, so we're just going to call him the Wolf
or Edgar, like they do in
was that
France? I think don't they call him Edgar there? I don't remember.
They actually had a Lupin game that it was like a Laserdisc game that
Yeah.
they called Cliff Jumper or something like that.
Cliff Diver, Cliff Jumper, something along those
Yeah,
lines.
his name was Cliff. And yeah, it was just clips from Castle Cagliostro.
Have you played the what was it, PlayStation 2 Lupin game?
Was that kind of the...
It was the Metal Gear Solid ripoff. It just played like Metal Gear.
Ooh. I think I would have liked to have played that. I did not get a chance.
I don't still have a copy of it, but if I did, I would so bring that in, and we could be so frustrated. Because it's not like a super easy game, but you want to play it because they actually bothered to dub it and everything, and they had the second TV cast do the English dub for the game. And it was one of those things where it's like, I want to love this, but I hate it because it's frustrating. So, didn't finish it, so...
DNF did not finish.
Yeah. There's a lot of games like that, sadly.
Speaking of Metal Gear, have you played any of those games?
I have watched them played. I have never actually touched one, so... But yeah, my boyfriend is super big into them, so I watch him play them, and I'm kind of just observing.
Yeah, I played one back in the PS1 era, and it was very frustrating. Just tough game. So yeah, I gave up on the whole series,
Yeah.
and I never had a PS2. But after watching some guys on Giant Bomb do a Let's Play of 2 and 3, I actually picked it up. It's a lot of fun. There's so much detail put into those games. You can really tell that they took their time to make a good product.
It is a well-loved series, probably for that fact. So.
Still frustrating in its own way.
Yeah, and I mean, I think maybe the Lupin game really captured that element because everybody who plays it says, like, yeah, there's an element of being frustrated. And I've watched it played, and I know generally how the mechanics work. It's just the closest thing I've ever played to it was that Lupin game. At some point, I will go through and play them because it's one of those franchises that you kind of have to try. So I'm on that slow boat as usual. Just been playing too many Atelier game series. But yes,
Right, Axis
it's
Powers
Sailor
Atelier,
Moon
yes.
S Hearts on Ice. Thank you, Ina Bashiri. That is exactly the one. That one, to me, as a 14-year-old girl, was just shattering. I don't know what I think of it now. I kind of want to watch it. See how I feel. I went and did that with a couple series that I was super into when I was younger. Some of them lived up to my expectations. Others were really horrible. Thank God my favorite, Kenshin was safe. So glad that I can still love that. So.
Yeah, I remember watching like the Battle Arena Toshinden or the Street Fighter, the movie. I mean, it was no Street Fighter, the TV show in USA. That was just superb.
Oh, you know what is something that they need to bring back to Netflix though on just random topics like this? Have you watched the old Zelda cartoon, right?
Oh, of course.
We were just watching that on YouTube because it's not streaming anywhere. But for a while they had that
if
up.
they would make it available.
Oh my God, I'm tempted to buy it because it's just so bad good.
Well, I mean, what was your takeaway?
Oh, from watching that again? Always good. Super great.
You
Gotta
know,
make a costume
he was
based
a
on
real he's a real MRA. He was a real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was.
It's like, why do I gotta do stuff for
Although,
the princess?
I have to say, he was trying really super hard to get in her pants the entire time. Like,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
really.
Why don't you give me a smooch, princess?
Yeah.
Like, no, because you're like a jerk.
Well, what we were saying is we thought maybe the issue is that he, in their world, was actually a little bit slow, and
I
the
can see
community
that.
tolerated him, but he would get into these situations and they'd be like, oh God, it's that Link kid again. And poor Zelda was just like, I have to tolerate him because I'm the princess, can't be rude to this guy, and I keep getting kidnapped, and he does save me, but he
He's
is
such
also
a jerk. He's
Yeah.
a real jerko.
So we were theorizing that he's just a little touched, and they never actually addressed that fact, but that's the reason why no one can stand him, and that's why he says stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it's crazy to think, that back in the day they had a bunch of TV shows. You had Mario Brothers, a TV show that was introduced by Captain Lou Albano.
The best part is watching do the Mario dance at the end. Every time it's
Swing
like,
your arms from side to side.
Yeah.
Let's do the Mario! Yeah.
Take one step, and then again, let's do the Mario.
All together now.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah. that whole segment is just, it makes me very sad that TV's so well produced now.
Yeah, it really had a... I really want to open up a YouTube and just play that right now.
They can Google
no,
it
they're...
themselves.
all right.
We don't want to get another video
You know what?
flagged.
I'm going to open it up in my mind and
And we're gonna watch.
and we'll watch. You know what? You guys Google Captain Lou Mario Brothers.
Yep.
Look more like Mario than Bob Hoskins. But yeah, Nintendo was certainly a heavy presence. I couldn't play any of the games. I was terrible at platformers. But
Oh God, yeah.
I love the characters.
I remember being super frustrated as a kid playing most Nintendo games, and it was only as an adult that I realized that it's some things you just can't beat until you have the internet to tell you, oh, there's actually this hidden thing that you'd never know about because the game does not tell you, and this is the only way you can complete this. So I think it was like the Beetlejuice game that started off where you ran out and then you had to take a leap of faith to like jump onto this platform, but I just kept running off the edge because I didn't know where I was supposed to go, and I didn't know if you could double jump, and because it didn't come with the booklet because I got it from Blockbuster.
Games, they were just like, they were still in the mentality of arcades, where it's like,
yes,
well, we need to kill you as many times as we can. Because you'll have to keep playing the game.
Yeah, we're gonna punish you.
That's how they did replayability back then.
Well, I feel like the games that I really ended up loving didn't punish you and didn't make dying such a horrible thing. Like Bubble Bobble was
you just restarted.
Always my favorite. Because and you'd get a code at the end if you died and you wanted to return to that stage. So if you're at level 60, you can just start there again. It didn't make it just punishing.
Yeah, I think that's very cool. They have a number of games nowadays where, you die, instant respawn. Like, give me that. Don't give me, like, 10 seconds worth of reloading or that kind of thing. That's, especially when it's, like, instant death. That's just a real pain. But, I mean, you want to see detail in this game,
Which is awesome.
The fact that this shakes.
Yeah.
It's just an incredible little detail. And no one will ever go inside this house except for me whenever I'm doing one of these videos.
Why? Is it just no reason?
There's not really anything to do here, but...
Because that's the kind of places I end up wanting to sit in game.
Yeah,
I try and go to the most antisocial corner of the world and sit there.
This is it,
Cool, I know where I can hang out now.
If you want to have like a gigantic...
Sake? Yeah, look. There's some like little sake
you can
bottles
have little,
over there.
Soju.
Yeah, sure, why not? Somebody left their food there. It looks perfectly good. I would eat that. I'm kind of broke.
Well, let's zoom in on that. Ooh, it kind of messes up my headgear a little. Hello. Woo.
Getting.
I think it's like a grill. It looks like some hamburgers grill? Or like a hibachi.
Cool.
I'd love a restaurant like this. See, they've got a whole bunch of Korean-style metal spoons, and I think those are seashells.
Yeah, it looks like it. We're using some textures, maybe.
Oh,
look at turkey.
Yeah, just turkey. Why not?
I totally eat clamshells and turkey at the same time.
Well, actually, those are for afterwards. That's for the restroom. This is actually in the future.
Oh, okay.
For Demolition Man. More than 3, though. But, just a tremendous amount of detail. Look at this. You got the little tatami mats that are folded up here on top of the dresser. Just a bunch of, like,
the raised platform there?
Yeah.
So you can be like the lord of this area and recline on that pillow.
Yeah, kind of wooden pillows like they had back in old Japan, old Korea. Not the greatest idea, but hey, feathers not easy to come by back then. Man, yeah. Yeah, say what you want about the devs, but their environmental design teams have always done superb work.
Look, even the chair leg has a little bit of a
it's got
detail on there.
Little details on there. So, where should I go?
So, Bashiri, you really want to bring up Sailor Moon Crystal?
I thought.
Have you watched any of that? No,
I thought that was going to be like, it's right here, the Sailor Moon Crystal.
No,
that's what it's called.
That show is. Have you watched any of that?
Is that the new one?
It's the new one.
I've seen some
screenshots.
People showed the screenshots, and it's like some.
Yeah, that's actually entirely why I'm watching it. I'm
busted.
Not gonna lie.
There's some busted proportions going on.
Yeah, the animations are pretty bad, but It leads to some great moments. Very, very serious climactic scenes where somebody gets super cross-eyed.
Oh,
my God.
no.
It is gold. So, bless that series. I have laughed a lot. So, and then other people are like, it's killing my childhood. I'm like, well, my childhood, it's already taken a beating. So,
Yeah,
what hasn't been
know,
ruined?
The thing is, treasure the memories you have.
Yeah.
Because everything's going to get rebooted eventually.
Oh, God,
and it
yeah.
probably won't be in a way like
That you want to see.
hoping good things for Star Wars. Definitely hoping good things. But if it turns out it's not for me, you know, I still got the originals.
That's a good way of thinking of it. That as long as you're okay with having tunnel vision, you can just block it out like we did with the prequels. So,
What?
yeah, exactly. I like that headgear.
Yeah, that's it's like a sea. It's like a sea. One of those sea lions? No, not a sea lion. It's like a lionfish or something. I don't remember where that was from.
So yeah, Bashir is saying that they hadn't watched it, but it seemed true to the old one. It's actually quite different.
Yeah, Mercury Riser.
It follows the manga very closely, and it's actually pretty darn different. I would say if you liked the original one for its silliness, you probably won't enjoy the new one because it's kind of serious. It takes itself kind of seriously. So, and it's definitely marketed towards a younger audience of girls. I mean, that's what the market for that show is. But it is quite different. So.
The Sweet Gent is a cowboy hat.
That may or may not have Indiana Jones' name on it.
Let's see. Actually, that is pretty.
That is pretty close.
Accurate, though.
Yeah.
A dark colored and very stylish hat that was popularized by smooth crooners.
Oh, true to the art style. Actually, the art in the original anime is better.
Well, maybe
there's less animation
manga,
errors. I would say, like looking. I haven't watched some.
Was pretty good
for its time. Not that bad. I mean, you have to cut it some slack
the
because
frame
when it
rate
was
was
done.
low.
Yes,
but that was
but
fine.
there are so many animation issues in Crystal that it's just kind of embarrassing because they only release it every other week.
We could show the video if we muted the audio.
And then someone will come along.
Yeah.
So yeah, not saying don't watch it. You should watch it, but just watch it and be okay with watching a train wreck because just don't go in there with a whole lot of high expectations, and you'll be fine. What? So I watch it every 2 weeks when it comes out, but I'm more watching it for those moments
for the
where
lulls.
for the lulls.
For the lulls.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's coming back. It's sort of like sort of like how for our parents, like in the 90s, that's when all the 70s stuff and the 60s stuff started coming back. So now as we're getting older, we're getting into our 30s, we have disposable income.
Yep.
People are starting to raise kids of their own.
And
That's when the nostalgia stuff comes in.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget CG series.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be starting in March, so that flew under the radar.
I'm actually excited for that. I loved Inspector Gadget.
I don't, if they get Don Adams, he's very old.
I don't know if
they don't get him, that's okay.
It might be smarter to just maybe find somebody new. Yeah. Somebody who can take
Matthew Broderick. Or who's the guy from Third Rock from the Sun, the weird guy?
Oh, I don't remember his name right now. I'm really bad at remembering things.
But he played him in part 2. You couldn't even get Matthew Broderick in Inspector Gadget 2. But that's coming back. DuckTales in 2017. I'm very excited about that. DuckTales, if it works, bring back Rescue Rangers, Tailspin.
Oh, man. Tailspin. Yeah.
They had everything back then. It was French Stewart. That's the one.
Okay, French Stewart. Yep. And they have potential to do something really great with it. It could be really bad, too. And either way, it's all right because...
Well, how do you do Scrooge McDuck in modern climate? I don't believe in global warming.
They totally could do that,
Uncle
but they're not going
Scrooge.
to.
They sued Lunchpad. He's in jail now.
Oh. Oh, man. Does anyone remember the really racist episode of Tailspin? I don't remember it. Now I'm curious.
Does anyone remember the really racist episode when they battled the Chinese? You know, I watched every one of those episodes.
I did too.
I probably remember it.
Maybe it's buried back there. That I just don't remember it, though.
Yeah, I love Get Smart, but yeah, they had some episodes too that were a little.
Yeah.
Actually, every cartoon, like prior to maybe the mid '90s.
No, you can't even say that because certain things, like maybe here we got a little more PC. They still skirt the fine line on some stuff, but in Japan, because we were talking at lunch about G Gundam.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a show that is hilarious, but it is so offensive.
Yeah, G Gundam was definitely like, well, you know what? It's like Street Fighter. It's kind of like, hey, you know, we want to have multicultural stuff in our game.
I think it might actually
such a superficial
push beyond Street Fighter level offensiveness.
They had Tequila.
Tequila Gundam.
Tequila Gundam.
He had a giant sombrero and poncho. I mean, that is not.
The Dutch one turned into windmill. Or had a windmill.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I guess at least Street Fighter.
The one for one of the African nations was really bad. Let's see. What else did they have? I loved that America's was like a football player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually kind of true.
Actually, I liked the way it was done in the. Did you watch Beck?
Beck.
It was the one where.
No.
Japanese people speaking English. Hey, my friend died.
Oh no, I love that.
And like using the F-bombs. And it's like, oh, in America, that's a much bigger thing. Like in Japan, you know,
they just think we cuss a whole lot more.
Like cute girl characters flipping people off, like, hey, have fun. Here, no, you probably get punched.
Oh yeah. I think our media really presents us as a lot more crass than we are.
Exactly.
We are much more toned down in interactions in real life, but that happens with any type of media. So. Yeah. I do find the impressions they do of Americans pretty funny.
It's all... Kaleido Star had a lot of weird stuff like that. Wasn't the American Gundam a boxer? Yeah, he had a football helmet and boxing gloves.
And he had like...
the pads.
The pads,
right?
like football pads.
Football pads.
If I remember correctly. It's been a while since I watched. It's like... Oh my god, probably 10 years now since I've actually seen G Gundam. So, but yeah, I thought he had like football pads on.
Yeah, it's like cover all the bases, you know. Also, he transforms into a Walmart. I don't know.
That would be way too accurate, actually. So he just like suddenly gets all of these really cheap rifles.
Oh, exactly. Kraft macaroni and cheese. I don't know.
He's sponsored by Comcast.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna, you know, after the measure passed for
they're just gonna sue the pants off the SEC again. Unfortunately,
they're gonna fight that.
They will, because they like money.
You know, it's something that for companies like us, it's a pretty big deal.
It is.
Have that not messed with.
Well, it's a big deal for everybody because nobody wants to have this.
It's already happening.
I know, where you have to pay.
Netflix, like having to pay off.
Yeah, and the idea that you wouldn't have access to just anything equally on the web, that you would have to pay for a fast lane and a slow lane, like that, no. Especially since the internet has developed to be part of so many people's lives now, that...
Where it's like a utility, not like
it is like a utility.
A bonus thing, like...
Yeah.
Try to get a job nowadays if you don't have access to, like, Monster.com.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, really, it's if you're not on some of those job sites, you just don't, you can't go door to door everywhere. I mean, it is a very essential part of our lives. So. I
mean, without the internet, the access to music, movies, pornography, you know, how would you even, what?
Where are you going to look at your cats?
You're going to go to Sam Goody? You're going to go to Diverse Megastore? Forget about it.
No, it is a really good thing that they passed that. I am sad for the impending legal battle that's going to ensue, because that actually defeated it last.
That's coming out of our pockets. When
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
defense.
but it is something that should be defended. Like that is
Absolutely.
something that I do want to stay in place, and it was a really nice victory. So hopefully it stays. Don't know if it will.
I hope so.
I do. I hope so a lot. So because what we do with it is going to affect not just America. It's going to affect everyone.
The whole world. Yeah.
Even through small
everyone
ripples.
connecting to us.
Yeah. And us connecting to them too, because there's a
Yeah.
potential that
If our stuff is different than their stuff,
Yeah.
we might just, yeah.
But yeah, so on less serious topics.
On less serious topics,
So, yeah. Anything new coming into the game? Any new updates that you guys are waiting for?
yeah, we're hoping to have the new Heroes Trail update up for testing pretty soon on Sakurai.
Okay.
Yeah. CM Nior says your RO2 looks flat and less dimensional. Weird.
Which is great because every time Oda actually gets in game on RO2 or we're playing at something that's 3D, he's like, oh, God, 3 dimensions.
You
It's
guys
so
in
fancy.
your sky. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Maybe tonight when we do the game night stream, maybe I'll actually show off a little bit of that map stuff I was working on.
Yeah, hopefully we can get that after this reboots. So if we do stream,
Oh,
so
are we watching Reboot?
yes,
Talk about a series that needs a reboot. Reboot, won't you?
we could watch reboot on one of these monitors.
You know what?
And then
It's
react
from Canada.
to it.
No one's going to sue us for showing a Canadian show. You know,
They're too
very,
nice.
They're very nice up
They'll
there.
apologize to us.
It'd be like, as long as you don't talk crap about Tim Hortons, it's all good.
Tim Hortons is good.
I have never had it, but I hear the Timbits and the coffee are supposed to be really
I
fantastic.
have a lovely lady in Canada who, when she comes to visit, brings me
Oh,
treats. So
very
yeah,
jealous. That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Riva always hooks me up with the donuts and things like that, or maple stuff. So she's my Canadian wife. She brings me
Canada
donuts.
no waifu.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's about all the time we
We're
have
wrapping?
today.
Okay. Well,
Um,
yeah. If we're gonna stream, so that would be like 7:30 or
Yeah,
onward.
about 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. We'll try to get something set up. I know that you guys will kind of want to join us for our game night stuff, even if you're not able to be here in person.
You can watch us be this again, except for not on the clock. So it might be even more ridiculous because that's kind of how it
We
goes.
can say all the swear words
all of the swear words
in order.
We will go alphabetical order on the list. If we play
We're-
Cards Against Humanity, we will.
We'll just be reading George Carlin's, however many words he can say on TV.
That would be so great.
But yeah, until then, you guys have a wonderful weekend.
All right, guys. Great hanging out with you. See you guys next weekend.
See you next week. And week.
Or week. What are words?
Water World?
What are words?
Oh, okay.
Waterworld, yes.